How many times have we told ourselves, starting Monday, I'm a new person? Or, January 1st is the day everything changes. And how many times did it fizzle out? Just a week later. If this sounds like you, trust me, you're not alone. And no, it's not because you lack willpower. It's not because you're lazy. It's actually wired into your brain. When we say, I'm overhauling my entire life, I'm starting from scratch, our brain doesn't get inspired. It goes into survival mode. It doesn't feel motivated. It feels terrified. Because deep down, we have two competing systems, and they speak different languages. The first one is purely emotional. Let's call it our primal brain. It's ancient, and its only job is to keep us alive. It constantly asks, is this safe, or is this a threat? So when we dangle a massive goal in front of it, a total career shift, a complete body transformation, a brand new life, it doesn't see an opportunity. It sees a red flag. It sees danger. It sees a mountain of blood, sweat, and tears, a mountain of the unknown, and instantly it triggers the alarm. Danger! This is too much. We're way out of our league. So we freeze, we stall, but there's a counterpart inside us, the rational brain, the executive center, the part that can strategize, analyze, and keep its eyes on the prize. And it says, this matters. This is non-negotiable. This is the path to a better life. But that's where the tug-of-war begins. Our rational brain says, go, take the leap. But our primal brain claws back. No way, it's too risky. And do you know who wins? Every single time. The one in charge of our survival. Our brain defaults to safety. And how does that play out in the real world? One word: procrastination. I'll start tomorrow. The timing isn't right. Maybe later. I just need more time. I'm not ready yet. And worst of all, the guilt. Why did I fail again? What is wrong with me? But here's the truth. Our brain is just trying to protect us from something that feels way too big. And this is the moment that changes everything. Our brain is not afraid of doing. It is afraid of size. The step is not scary. The picture is scary. The whole mountain, the whole journey, the whole new life. When we try to change everything all at once, our brain shuts down. It gets overwhelmed. It says, this is too much. But when we break it down, our brain calms down. 1 minute, one tiny step, one simple starting point. Now, it's not a mountain anymore. It's just a single step. So, how do we keep moving forward without our brain fighting us every step of the way? Let's talk about something practical that actually works. There's one principle in psychology that is proven to be the most reliable. It's often called the 1% rule, or the principle of small wins. And here's the most important part. This isn't about motivation. This is about how real change actually happens. And the idea is dead simple. Our brain won't sign up for a big change, but it will agree to tiny actions, steps that are almost invisible. When a step is so small that it doesn't feel stressful, our brain doesn't trip the alarm. It doesn't say, this is dangerous. We can't handle this. It stays completely chill. It says, I can do this. And here's the secret sauce that most people miss. Real change doesn't happen in bursts of heroism. It happens through boring consistency. Small steps don't spook our brain. They don't need motivation. They don't need a perfect day. They just slot right into our life. That's why they work. But here's the trap most of us fall for. We think change looks like this. First, a big decision, then a massive push, and then a brand new life. But our brain doesn't operate that way. It doesn't care about what we intend to do. It cares about what we repeat. Because repetition equals safety, and safety means I can keep this up. That's when small steps pull off what motivation never could. They build an identity. I'm the kind of person who shows up, not perfectly, but consistently. Real change doesn't start with goals. It starts with identity, with who you believe you are. And here's the secret. A small step doesn't need to inspire you. It just needs to not scare you. If a step feels stupidly easy, you're doing it right. Because the goal of a small step isn't the result. The goal is buy-in. You're teaching your brain this is safe. And once your brain is on board, it stops fighting you. Over time, something incredible happens. It almost feels like magic. You start doing way more than you ever planned, without the constant struggle and force. But it's not magic. It's respect. Respect for how you're wired, for how your brain actually operates. And next we'll talk about how to turn these tiny steps into real lasting change. The biggest mistake is thinking that small steps are just watered-down versions of big goals. They're not. This is a completely different way to change. A small step is an action, not an intention. And that gap matters. An intention sounds like this. I'm going to work out. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to change my life. But a small step looks like this. It doesn't describe a whole process. It describes one tiny win, one concrete move. For example, you don't tell yourself, I'm going to work out. You say, 1 minute of movement. That's it. No big result. No fitness goals. Just 60 seconds. Stretch. Walk around. Roll your shoulders. That's all. Your brain doesn't see this as a threat. It doesn't hear, you have to change your entire life forever. And that's why 1 minute actually works while 30 minutes fail. Because you do it once, and then you quit. It's the same with meditation. Many people hear the word meditation and immediately feel the pressure, like, I have to sit the right way. I have to be perfectly calm. I have to do it right. So they don't do it at all. That's why, in the 1% rule, we don't say meditate. We say take 3 slow breaths. That's it. No special pose, no perfect silence, no Zen mood. Just 3 breaths, anytime, anywhere. This isn't working on yourself. It's just a brief pause. One small moment to reset. And your brain learns the lesson again. Change doesn't take over my life. It fits into my life. It doesn't steal my time. It becomes a part of it. Now let me give you the most subtle example. One honest no. This one is huge because it's no longer about your body or your breath. This is about boundaries. Just one thing. A simple, honest no. No over-explaining, no excuses, no guilt. It can be something tiny, like skipping a pointless conversation, like saying no to a request when you're out of energy, like stopping yourself from saying yes on autopilot. Why does this work? Because it's a small action that gives you something back. Choice. Not control over your entire life. Just control over this one moment. And that's enough for your brain to shift. So, what do all these examples have in common? If you look closely, you'll see the exact same thing. None of them require extra time, willpower, or motivation. And most importantly, they don't fight your real life. You don't become a new person. You don't start a new life. You just shift one small step at a time. Here's the golden rule. Don't add more. Allow less. The 1% rule is about giving yourself permission to start even smaller. And if today that's all you managed, it means the process is already working, even if it feels slow. Especially if it feels slow. And if right now you're thinking, yeah, this all makes sense, but I still mess up sometimes. That's perfectly normal. You're only human. And it's important to say that out loud, because most people don't quit because they're lazy or lack willpower. They quit because they don't understand what a setback actually is. A setback is not failure, it's a signal. We're used to thinking that a setback means weakness, like something is broken inside us. But in psychology, a setback is just a sign of overload. Your brain isn't saying, I'm lazy. It's saying, right now, this way of doing things doesn't feel safe anymore. Even if the step was tiny, even if it was only 1 minute. Sometimes the problem isn't what you're doing, it's the story you're telling yourself about it. Here's a small but massive example. Let's say you commit to moving for just 1 minute a day, but deep down, a thought sneaks in. Now I have to do this every single day. And if I miss a day, it means I failed again. It means I lack discipline. And suddenly this tiny step turns into a high-stakes test. A test of your willpower, your character, and your worth. Even with the 1% rule, people still sneak in 2 dangerous words. I have to. I have to do my 1 minute. I have to not quit. I have to stay consistent. And the second you say, I have to, the pressure is back. The weight is back. Your brain detects the force, and it starts to resist again. And your brain hears those old familiar words, I must. I should. I have to be better. And when you fall short, the shame kicks in. But here's the truth. It's not the failure that kills your progress. It's the shame. So, what happens after you miss a day, or 2, or a week? You have 2 reactions. The first one is the default. See, I failed again. This just isn't for me. I can't cut it. In that moment, you don't quit because you missed a day. You quit because of the story you're telling yourself. The second reaction is different. It's gentler. It's more honest. Instead of asking, what's wrong with me? You ask, where did this become too much? Not, why am I weak? But, where did I overload myself? That's a completely different conversation. And now, here is the rule that keeps you from quitting. This is the game changer. Missing a day is part of the system, not the end of it. In the real world, misses are built in. They're expected. So if you skipped your movement today, or didn't say no, that doesn't wipe out your progress. It doesn't erase a single thing. It's just a reset point, a place you can always come back to, without punishment, without shame. When you slip up, don't ask, why did I fail again? Ask one simple question. What is the tiniest step that feels safe right now? Sometimes, it's just one breath, one small movement, one mindful moment, not tomorrow, today. And that is plenty to keep the process alive. Here's the absolute most important thing to remember. Change doesn't break because of pauses. It breaks because you're too hard on yourself. If you know how to bounce back, how to make the step even smaller and stop turning growth into an exam, then you're already changing. Even when it feels like you're not moving at all. I want to tell you something huge. Most of the time, what holds us back is not laziness or weak willpower. It's not even fear. It's your inner critic. That voice inside that says, do it perfectly, or don't bother. If you start, you better get serious. 1 minute? That's nothing. That doesn't even count. That voice was formed in your childhood, when love, approval, and acceptance were tied to your results, when you were praised for success and judged for every mistake. So inside you, there's a younger version of yourself, a part that is still trying to earn love, to be good and perfect. And that's exactly what makes change feel so heavy. The small steps method is how you tell your inner child, you don't have to be perfect to deserve love and growth. When you take a tiny step, you're not pushing yourself, you're taking care of yourself. It's like taking your own hand and saying, "It's okay, no rush, I'm right here with you." And that is where the real shift happens. So, why does this path actually work? Here's the paradox. The most powerful changes don't happen when you push harder. They happen when you let go of control, when your brain finally realizes, I won't be punished here. I don't have to be perfect. I'm allowed to mess up. I'm allowed to come back. That's when it stops fighting you and starts working with you. Small habits beat big plans, because plans require willpower. But habits build a path. Plans drain you. Habits support you. So right now, I'm not asking you to change your entire life or become a new version of yourself. I'm just asking you to take one tiny step, something that takes less than 60 seconds, something so small your brain doesn't even notice. It could be 1 minute of movement or one kind thought about yourself. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is starting without the pressure. And if you'd like, drop a comment below. What is your 1% step today? Not to gain control, but to mark the moment where you choose gentle, real change.